Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to what's better than the Oscars now.
I
Last year,
agree.
I established myself as the best person to pick the best movies of the year. And now, this is my second year doing this, and we are going to give the awards to the movies that matter and that count. Yes. And I don't know where I was going with that. But yes, this is the Oscars, but better. The Golden Globes, but way better. What else is there? Screen Actors Guild Awards, but better. And guess what? I'm here with the regular now, Bella.
Hi.
And then below me, the beautiful man that below me is Mac, my pal, my confidant, and the love of my life. No homo, though. Oh, hello, Diego. What's up? I met Diego on TikTok. He's a cool pal of mine. He liked my reviews on TikTok. We've been talking movies since. Great guy. Hopefully, I can get him on the show one day. He knows a lot about movies. What's up, Blake? My boy. Oh, Blake always here. And like I said, today we're going on our top 5 movies of 2024. Nick was supposed to be here, the hot take master, but his Mac broke somehow. Leave it to Nick. Only Nick. That would happen to Nick only. It's a Nick situation. Deontay, our beautiful man, he is here. He is the great Oz behind the curtain. But he is sadly not going to show his beautiful face because he is sadly sick right now. So he will be running it, though, because he's the big daddy. He's the papa. I guess that makes me the mama. But yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this, baby. It's been 3 months. I'm back. I'm alive. I'm here. I survived. You thought I was dead, but guess what? You can't kill me that easily. You thought the takes were over? You thought the bad reviews were over? No, they weren't. I'm here. I'm alive. Also, go Broncos.
Wait, so
Bills are
does this
gonna
make
lose.
me the vodka aunt?
Huh?
Does this make me the vodka aunt then? If you're the mom, Deontay's the dad. Like, I feel like I'm the vodka aunt.
Yeah, you can be if you want. Mac is my baby.
That
That's
checks.
how it goes. Ready for that amazing introduction from yes. Oh yeah, I have an introduction. I always forget this one. I mean, what would be an episode without me forgetting the introduction? Hit the intro, Deontay, my man.
Hey.
Yes. Shout out to Willie for making that from the SNN network. Thanks for the clap, man. I appreciate that. Willie did a great job with that intro. It feeds my ego every time,
Very classy.
and I like it a lot. So now, 2024 is quite a year for movies. I didn't see as many this year. I counted on my letterbox. If you want to follow me on Letterboxd, it's Jacob Smith 9817. Follow me on Letterboxd. But I saw around 98 movies last year, apparently, which is crazy, but I did it. And this year I saw about 90. So I saw 8 less new releases this year. I try to see as many as I can. It's been a crazier year. Had a lot of stuff going on. That's why I've been gone for 3 months. But I am back, and I saw some great movies this year. And I guess to kick it off, we can go with honorable mentions. I feel like we should do that because 5 is hard. I feel like this year's been too great for just 5 movies. You guys don't have to give honorable mentions. I just going to give mine. and then we'll go around. Do you guys have any honorable mentions you'd like to say before I start?
I'm not. Oh, go ahead, Max. Sorry.
So, yeah, so I got a few that didn't quite make the top 5. I'll throw out. I didn't see. This is the movie I got more in the year I got more in the films. So I saw 20 films, which probably the year before I probably saw only like 10. But I'm also on Letterboxd under my name, Mac McNamara. It's just all one word, first name, last name all together. If you want to follow, I'm pretty new to it. So my list, you'll probably hate my list and my. Anyway, honorable mention. I have Heretic actually, just outside the top 5. I have that right at 6. So I thought that was really great film. Relied more on dialogue, character building, relationships, themes of belief, disbelief, and kept you guessing until the end. It was very original. You don't see a lot of movies like that. And the acting was particularly strong with not only both the Warren but Hugh Grant as well. Honorable mention, Heretic. And then I'm not going to talk about the other ones too long so we can get along with things, but I like Denora a lot and Quiet Place Day 1. I threw those 2 right outside the top 5 as well.
All right, I'll go. For me, one of my honorable mentions is Deadpool and Wolverine. I really love that movie. I think it's so fun. Also, come on, the dance at the beginning, it's amazing. And I think my other honorable mention is Alien, the Alien movie that I got to do on your show, Jacob. Alien Romulus, yep.
Yes.
So you should listen to the episode where we actually talk about that one, because I don't want to spoil that. We already did a deep dive of Alien Romulus. You should go watch that episode. It's really fun. And then Speak No Evil with James McAvoy, because I love James McAvoy as an actor, and it is otherwise, I don't think, a good film. And I think it's impressive that he elevated it.
Wow. Interesting.
I'm keeping it succinct.
Interesting things to say there. I also like.
I figured you would have opinions.
I like Speak No Evil, but James McAvoy does help carry that a lot. I'll give you that. Me and I have similar honorable mentions to both of you peoples. I have Deadpool and Wolverine as well in my honorable mentions. I saw it twice. Twice in theater. One of the only movies I saw more than once in theaters this year. Just because I saw it with different friends, but it was great. I liked it a lot. But easily the best Deadpool film for me. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Ever since I was a little kid, he's always been my favorite. Besides Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, it's those two, and the Marvel Universe has always been, and Captain America. But so seeing Hugh Grant in the actual Wolverine costume just soothed my childhood soul. I loved it. It was amazing. Great soundtrack too in that. I have more honorable mentions than you guys because I've seen a lot of great movies. I'm not going to go deep into any of these, but Heretic is another one. But Mac already said everything that needs to be said about that movie. Heretic is also on my list. The Wild Robot and Flow, 2 of the best animated films to come out in a long, long time.
I didn't even hear about that movie until you mentioned it last night in our fantasy football chat.
Yeah, it's nobody's really been talking about it. I just watched it 2 nights ago for the first time. I rented it.
Adam,
I love you, Adam.
Adam was talking poorly about it last night. It was so funny.
Yeah, Adam didn't love it as much as me. He's more of a Wild Robot guy, and that's okay. I'm both. Flow is honestly the most like it almost made my top 5. I thought about putting it at number 5. It almost did. It almost did, which is crazy because if you know me, animation is not my thing. It hasn't been my thing since I was a kid. You're mid, Adam. I'm just kidding. You're not mid. You're a beautiful man. I'm sorry. That was just my anger talking. I'm sorry, baby.
He is beautiful. He's like Pedro Pascal and Josh Allen combined.
Yes, we can say that. But yeah, Flow was it was just amazing. I think everybody should watch Flow. I think it's great for even kids to watch for life. There's so many good life lessons and themes in it. Beautiful animation. The way they got the animals down is insane. Like they got the way a cat. I've never seen a more realistic animated cat or any animated animal in my life. Like the animation on the animals and how realistic. And they went to a zoo and got actual the animal sounds. And they spent a lot of time on it. And they even used a free animation engine called Blender. I guess some people would know about Blender. It's you can do like cool stuff with it, but it's a free app, and they actually made the whole movie in that, which is insane. Like the animation is just like it's just crazy. Great movie, and it was the only movie of 2024 to make me cry, and I mean I cried like a baby. Yes, Adam has a film coming out called Aroma Vision. Add that to your Letterboxd watch list if you haven't. And yes, it'll probably be in 2025, my top films, just because. And Mississippi Muck, Adam is writing that too. But yeah, Flow, like I said, I stared at the credits and I started bawling like a baby. Like I cried, and then I kept crying and I couldn't stop crying. And it made me feel emotions that I haven't felt in a long time. And it made me feel human again. I thought I lost my human touch. I thought I was becoming like Patrick Bateman from American Psycho, but
that is so concerning.
Hey, but apparently I'm not a sociopath yet, because Flo proved that. And thank you, Flo, for that. And just for that alone, it's got to make my top 10 list. It would probably be number 6 if I had to put it in like a top 10. But yeah, Flo. Everybody check it out. Best animated movie of the year. And then The Wild Robot is right next to it. Wild Robot it's right there with it. It's Flow's a little bit better for me, but The Wild Robot, 2 of the best animated films of recent memory. Then I got to give a shout out to Nosferatu. I'm a Robert Eggers guy. 2 of his films are my favorite films of all time, The Lighthouse and The Northman. I love those films. And I also love The Witch. And Nosferatu was a banger. It was just atmospheric, beautifully shot, cinematography, the set design, everything was perfect in that movie. Shout out him. I know a lot of people are going to be shocked that that's not on my top 5 probably, that know me, but it just barely missed. The Substance, great film. I have to shout out The Substance. Demi Moore, amazing in that movie. Margaret Qualley, amazing in that movie. Just besides one other movie is the best horror film of the year. And then Anora is definitely in my top 10. Loved Anora so much. It was hilarious. Mikey Madsen is a star. It's just great. Y2K, an A24 film. I have to shout out Y2K. Why is that funny?
Just never mind.
You know,
I'm laughing.
I know.
I'm laughing for a
it.
reason.
We know.
I also know why you liked it.
It's not just because she was in it. Although Rachel Zegler, I know Rachel Zegler. If you ever see this, I am a 6'3", tall, blue-eyed, handsome man, and I'm just saying. I am a filmmaker, and I'm just saying, I feel like we'd be a perfect couple, you know. Shout out Rachel Zegler. But yeah, that's not the only reason I love Y2K though. The soundtrack was banging. It actually had some. I was like a year and a half when Y2K happened, but I still had some nostalgia because some of the stuff went into the early 2000s. So like, there's a lot of nostalgia in there for me, and it was just hilarious. I loved it. It was a fun movie. I don't know what it's got like really bad reviews on Rotten Tomatoes and stuff. I thought it was just a fun time. A Different Man, another A24 movie. Shout out Sebastian Stan. Glad he's doing other things besides Marvel. He was great in it. Superman, the Christopher Reeve story. That's a documentary. It's free on Match. Yep, I know. Always. But yeah, it's free on Max. I said Match. It's free on Max right now. But yeah, watch. It's such a heartbreaking documentary. It almost made me cry as well. It's if you ever grew up with Superman, and even if you didn't grow up with Superman, Christopher Reeve, his story is so empowering. It's just such a good documentary. I saw The TV Glow, another one, another great A24 movie. I feel like people in the trans community will really love that movie, or it'll terrify them. It'll probably terrify them. I read a lot of reviews from people that were in that community that said it is very realistic and terrifying, but it's just a really good story about like identity and having, crisis with who you are and stuff like that. And like,
what's that one called again?
I saw The TV Glow.
I saw The TV Glow.
I saw The TV Glow.
It's on Max right now too, for free. It was like, I am not trans. I am a straight white male, so I can't begin to even try to say that I know their experiences. Too many shouts to these celebrities, Jacobs, and they're going to start getting jealous. I only have 2, and you know what? I can have. No, I'm not going to say that. No, I only have 2. Yeah, Christopher Reeve doc was just absolutely amazing. Yeah, I definitely watched that. But yeah, I saw The TV Glow. Like I said, being a straight white male, I obviously do not have the experiences that the trans community has, so I don't want to speak on it too much because it's not. But I just want to shout it out because I feel like even me being from where I'm at, it gave me anxiety. Like it gave me it's like there's a scene in the 3rd act of that movie that just like it gave me almost an idea. Like I felt like the identity crisis. Like it was so realistic. Like it was just like it blew my mind, that 3rd act. But yeah, definitely check that out if you're in that community, or if you're having problems with just figuring out who you are, just like I feel like just check that out. I feel like it's a movie that needs to be talked about. It was made by a queer filmmaker, and I feel like it deserves more love. A lot of people have actually been like dogging it, and I don't know why, because I get it if it's not your thing, but like it's really well made filmmaking. And they also recreate like a Goosebumps Are You Afraid of the Dark TV series. So like that gave me nostalgia too, because I used to watch Goosebumps all the time growing up. So there's some nostalgia in that, and yeah, it's just a beautiful story. And then yes, representation. A24 has been killing it this year, and then I'll just rattle off the rest because I'm talking too much. But Carry On is a Netflix thriller.
Carry On.
Yeah, it's on.
Oh, I guess I could add that to my list. I didn't include that in the films I watched this year, but I did watch that. I just left it off because I watched it on Netflix.
The cinematography in that movie alone makes it worth a watch. Are you talking about I Saw the TV Glow, Nightmares and Nerdscapes? Or are you talking about Nosferatu? Either one, the cinematography is great in both of those. But yeah, Carry On, it's a Netflix movie, so you wouldn't expect much from it, but it's actually a really great thriller. I liked it a lot. I'm a big Jason Bateman fan, though, so that could probably be why I loved it so much. Yep, okay, so I Saw the TV Glow. Yeah, I Saw the TV Glow was great. Cinematography, just everything-wise. It had a great vibe. And yeah, Carry On, great Netflix movie. One of the best Netflix movies to come out probably ever. So yeah, check that one out. Rebel Ridge, another great Netflix movie to come out. Great action, great gunplay. Speak No Evil, already said. Twisters was in my top 3 during the summer, but it fell quite a bit when I thought about it. I have had no desire to rewatch it. But I loved my theater experience with Twisters, and it's just a fun blockbuster movie. So definitely check that one out. And then Maxine, of course, the end to the X trilogy. I gotta put in my honorable mentions just because I love that. I don't love Pearl, but I do love X, and Maxine was a really good end to that trilogy. Cuckoo, I loved Cuckoo. I thought it was great. Shout out Hunter Schafer and Dan Stevens, amazing in that movie. Hunter Schafer, I absolutely loved in that movie, and I want to see her in more movies. Furiosa, love Mad Max Fury Road, so of course Furiosa. Civil War, A24 was also Civil War was like my favorite movie of the year when it came out in April, but it failed quite a bit sadly, but it's still a great movie. Love Civil War. The First Omen, one of the best horror films. Abigail, Challengers, Quiet Place Day One, and The Fall Guy. Those are all my honorable mentions. That's a lot of honorable mentions, I know, but I just wanted to shout all those movies because they were all, I think all of them were 4 stars and above for me, A- and above. All great movies. Like I said, this year was just been so good. And yeah, I saw the TV Glow was amazing. Shout out to that movie. Cuckoo. Yeah, I could see that Cuckoo being your number 1 horror film. It's a wild ride for sure. But yeah, those are my honorable mentions. But if you take anything from this, watch Flow. That's where I'm going to leave that. If it makes me a man who has problems with his emotions, who puts everything deep down, if I never cry, but this movie made me cry, and it's an animated cat with no dialogue, and it made me cry. If an animated cat movie that's only an hour and 25 minutes with no dialogue, it's just animals trying to survive a flood, basically. If that can make me cry, you're doing something right. So yeah, just check out Flow. It's just a beautiful movie. God, I love that movie. Criterion released it in theaters. I'm hoping to get a Criterion release. I'll buy the Criterion day 1. But yeah, okay. And with that, I guess we can get into our top 5.
Hey.
I'm trying to think. I just talked a lot, so I don't want to go first. I'm tired of hearing myself, so I know the commenters are as well.
They love you. How
They
could
do.
You know what?
They're here for you
This is true.
and for me.
Oh.
And for you.
Thank you.
They're here for all of us.
I love every single one of you in the comments.
The last time I was on the show was like 6-7 months ago, maybe even longer. Maybe it was a year ago. I don't know.
Last time you were on the show was, what did we talk about? I don't even know what we talked about when you were on the show.
I was with crap. He did the Phantom of the Fields.
Lawson. You're with Lawson.
Lawson. Yeah, I was with Lawson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have you back. Thank you with the hearts. Diego, the hand hearts. Diego, I hand heart you back. I would do it, but I'm not that coordinated, so I'm not going to embarrass myself.
Here, I can do it for you.
There you go. That's
Yeah.
from me to Isabella to you,
Just gonna make it circle.
Diego. You beautiful man, you. So yeah, I mean, actually, before we jump in the top 5, all of those movies I named off, do any of you have any extra thoughts you want to add on any of those? I know that was a lot.
I will jump in on Twisters real quick because I do agree. I had such a fun time seeing Twisters, and as somebody who was like raised on the original Twister film, that one weirdly had a lot of nostalgia for me as well. And I just thought like the actors in it did a phenomenal job. It's a fun story. It's very like kind of adrenaline junkie in its effect on viewers. So if you like action movies and you also are fascinated by weather patterns, I think it's a great film for you. I really enjoyed that one, so I'm actually gonna steal that off of your list, Jacob, and add it to mine as well as an honorable mention. So thank you.
As you should.
I won't give him an honorable mention, but it was one of those films I saw earlier in the year that was pretty like high at the top, and then I just saw more films, and then like it slowly just went down. Great film though.
Yeah. Like Bella said, I also grew up on the original Twister. So Twisters was like awesome to see again, just because I loved the original as a kid. And I forgot. Oh my God, I forgot one, Mac, and you forgot one too. Small Things Like These.
That is, yeah, a great film.
Great film. Mac saw this in theaters, and
I
he told
did
me,
see that. I had no clue. I was like committing myself to go to the movies every Tuesday, and then I was like, you know what? I saw a Cillian Murphy movie, and I was like, we're seeing it. I have no clue what it's about, and I walked out of it, and it's in my top 5. I'll tell you where it is later, but it's in the top 5.
"Oh dang it! I almost spoiled it. Dang it! But anyway, yeah. Small Things Like These. It was in my top 5. I will say it was also in my top 5 until I saw a few others. So it got bumped out, but it would be in my top 10 for sure. Small Things Like These, check it out. Smaller movie. Cillian Murphy's the goat. Just one of the best actors working today. What's up, Raiden? How's it going? But yeah, one of the best actors working today. That movie really made me emotional at the end. I loved it. Uh, yeah, Small Things Like These, check it out for sure. I missed it in theaters, but I watched it because Mac gave it such a glowing recommendation. I rented it at home, and it was just a great time. Well, not a great time, considering the subject matter,
No.
but it was a very moving. It was a very moving movie, and it was just really well shot. It was a pretty simple story, but the cinematography was everything for me in that movie, and Cillian Murphy's acting, of course. But yeah, okay, so my number 5 is going to be Transformers 1, Deontay. I have not seen Transformers 1, so I can't comment on that, Deontay. I'm sorry.
I actually heard really good things about that movie. Like, I think some of my coworkers, they went to go see it, and they invited me. I wasn't able to see it, but they came in the next day, and then they're like, "Man, you have to see Transformers 1." And I've actually never seen a Transformers movie, but they're like, it was like, they thought it was the best Transformers movie. So if there's a Transformers movie to see, probably that one.
Okay.
That one. Yeah, that one.
That's fascinating. I'm somebody who never quite recovered from the death of Optimus Prime in the animated series, so I think I should probably watch this, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Well, I've heard people call it the best animated film of the year, even against Flo and the Wild Robot, which is insane to me, but maybe it is. I mean, it could be. I don't know. I've only seen I watched Transformers growing up, but I've only seen, besides that, I was obsessed with the 2007 movie with Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox, the Michael Bay one, the 2007. I had it on DVD and I watched it probably 30 times at least. I love that movie. Probably Megan Fox was a big reason in that movie, honestly, if I'm being honest with myself. But I also loved Bumblebee. Bumblebee was my dude in that movie.
He's so good. Love Bumblebee.
One is amazing. It's the best since the 84. I haven't seen the 84 movie, so. I saw some animated series that was on Cartoon Network when I was growing up in the early 2000s. I don't know which one it was, but yeah. I was always a Bumblebee guy, though. I loved Bumblebee since I was a kid. Yeah. I guess. Deontay, do you have your number 4 since you're working here? I'll give you a second. No? Okay. He'll be here.
Are we all doing our number 5s or?
Yeah, we'll go number 5s and we'll do it like in a circle. I'm not gonna go first. Like I said, I've been talking too much. So let's go Mac, Bella, me.
All right. So this was one of the last movies. I actually saw this movie like a week ago, and it is a 2024 movie. And I had hesitations about seeing this movie because I don't really like this actor as a person for personal reasons, but they're a fantastic actor and they're good in everything they're in, and it frustrates me beyond hell, but they are a fantastic actor. And I like this genre of movies a lot, so I saw A Complete Unknown this week, and I absolutely loved it. So that's number 5 for me. And Timothy Chalamet does it again. The sound design the immersion with the music, the simplicity of him just like being real, just not trying to share his emotions through his acting. I thought he did a really good job with that, and the sound design was so awesome. It kind of made me feel like I was there, like at the concert in the movie, whenever they performed and stuff like that. And then Monica Barbera, I've never seen her before in anything, but she was amazing, and Elle Fanning was also great too, and Edward Norton as well, great acting. And I don't really like Bob Dylan's music a whole lot, but I do love his messages in his songs and things like that, and I actually love the movie. So you don't even need to be a Bob Dylan fan. This was a top 5 movie of the year for me. Big fan.
Heck yeah.
All right, so I need to preface this list of mine with the fact that I did not get to see The Substance, and I also have not seen Nosferatu yet. And I feel pretty confident, based off of everything I have heard about both of those films, that they probably would be somewhere on my list if I had had time to see them.
Pause for a second. Wait a minute. You're telling me the horror girl, the horror buff, has not seen the 2 most raved about horror movies this year?
That is what I am saying. Yeah, I know. It's shame on me.
Shout out your podcast, by the way.
So I have a podcast, which I do with my mom, and it's called Craven Conventions, and we exclusively talk about horror movies and specifically female representation in those horror movies. And that podcast is why I wasn't able to see The Substance, because I was editing it. So
that's a good excuse. That's a good excuse.
It was,
check out the podcast, by the way.
Thank you.
I've actually listened to an episode or 2. Even me, who doesn't even listen to things. Who listens to things? Like, who would listen to this? But no, you guys like go super deep into like the context and subtext and stuff like that, and it's like insane. I don't have the brain power that you have. I like you just pick up on things. So like you and your mom are excellent in that podcast. Shout out to that podcast. Definitely check it out. It's better than this one.
It's not true.
So you can go and listen to that one instead. But yes.
We just finished deep diving like every version of Rosemary's Baby, with the exception of Apartment 7A. But we're about to follow up that section with Stepford Wives. So if you're interested in hearing a lot about the Stepford Wives, there are 2 different films that adapted it. That's the next thing on that show. But anyways, to my list. My number 5 is Challengers, actually. I think that I'm not somebody who usually enjoys like movies about sports whatsoever. This was sorry, I just saw the comment section. Deontay's making me laugh. I appreciate knowing that. Thank you for the heads up about Nosferatu. But anyways, I'm not usually somebody who likes sports films, but this one I absolutely loved. I thought it was such a fascinating story, talking about like the intrinsic link of these 3 people and the toxicity and the love that grows between them. The acting I thought was phenomenal in it. There were so many super organic moments. The cinematography I thought was gorgeous. There's a scene where Zendaya's character gets injured, and that actually like gave me a very visceral response to watch it, and that also doesn't happen normally because I watch so much horror. But I think it was just so unexpected. Like most of the pieces on my list were things that I had like a genuinely like visceral emotional response to at some point or other. But yeah, Challengers is gonna be, I think, my number 5. I also think the ending is unexpected and a really great way for that film.
Superb 2 picks for me. Challengers is definitely in my. I said it in my honorable mentions, but yeah, Challengers. I also saw. I agree with everything you just said about Challengers. Couldn't have said it better.
I agree.
I already own it on Blu-ray, so like I bought it, so I obviously loved it. The score is amazing. I love the score. Zendaya is always going to be great. and it picks up for me the toxic masculinity between the two guys, and like when there's a girl in between, it picks up that so well. Like I've from even personal experience, I can relate to some of that movie, and it's just it picks it up so well, and just how guys communicate with each other.
Yeah. I think I'm also excited anytime I see like a flawed female lead in a piece, because there's so much messaging about like females as maternal figures and females as relative like to the home. So I think this one was really exciting for me because she is like so radically against that and in favor of her career, and because of an injury is forced back into like this more domestic setting, and all she really wants is to be back on the court. Like I thought that was just handled really well in that storyline, and I like seeing interesting female representation.
Yep, female representation all the way. That's why Y2K was on my list. You guys were saying it was because Rachel Zegler represents early 2000s or late 90s girl. That's why.
Okay.
Don't judge me.
We're also 90s kids. We grew up in the 90s, so.
Yeah, that's true. Me and Mac are the 90s babies.
We're 90s kids.
Yes, 90s kids.
98,
I
99.
love that journey for both of you.
Such a journey. Challengers would be my number one of 20. Okay, Diego.
Hey!
Yeah, I respect it.
That's a great pick. I missed some of the comments here. Deontay said his 4 was Nosferatu. I was waiting on him, and then he said it in the comments, so I look like an idiot. But, yeah, Deontay, that's a great pick for number 4. Lily Rose Depp stole the show. She definitely did. She was amazing in that movie. I thought her acting was superb in that movie, and the way she had to contort her body and stuff was just insane. I won't go too into detail since Bella hasn't seen it, but it was absolutely, like, all the acting in that movie was superb. But yeah, I agree with that. And then for Mac's pick of number 5, I wanted to see Complete Unknown 2 days ago. I was going to see it in theaters with my mom because I live in a very small town, so the closest theater to me is 40 minutes away. And I was in that town that has, town that has the theater. So, like, I don't get to, like, it's not like I can just walk to the theater like some people or anything. It's like I usually try to go to the theater when I'm already going to that place. But, so I was going to see Complete Unknown, but then snow came, so I wasn't able to because I didn't want to die on the way home. But I will say I've heard a lot of good things about Complete Unknown. Timothée Chalamet is my dude. I'll never forget when you guys said I could be a stand-in for him. That boosted my ego so well. I should be. You know what? When I look at him, yeah, we don't have the same facial features, but we have the same jawline and the type.
You're like a more tall, dark, handsome Timothée Chalamet.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I would love to be his stand-in. But yeah, I mean, yeah, hire me if you're looking for a Timothée Chalamet stand-in. I'll come. I'll come to Hollywood. Actually, probably not right now because it's on fire. R.I.P. to the people that lost their lives in that. And that wasn't supposed to be a joke. I swear to God, that wasn't supposed to be a joke. I am actually not making fun. It's actually a very sad situation. And shout out to all the firemen out there. That's an incredibly hard job that they're doing. And hopefully they get it, I guess, the fire under control soon. I haven't seen much news on it. I haven't been following the news a lot, but I've seen a lot of people having to evacuate stuff. That's just really sad. So hopefully that gets resolved soon. And yeah, so actually this podcast is a proud, I guess I would say supporter, but I'm broke. I can't give you any money. But anybody in the comments, you should donate money to the LA people.
Yeah.
Doing good work here at Jacob's Film Perspectives. Bill Skarsgård is truly the current king of transformation. Thank you, Deontay. You're on point. I was literally reading that when you clicked it on the screen. I love you, man. It is the current king of transformation. Yeah, it is crazy what he did. Like, definitely, if you want somebody in a horror movie to be a monster, just pick him. Like, for real. I mean, he's just great at it. Jacob Chalamet. I mean, I wouldn't get married to him, but yeah, call me Jacob Chalamet. I mean, look at him. He's dating Kylie Jenner, isn't he? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So my top 5 or
I'm just as clueless as you.
Diego, I love this list.
Diego, you are absolutely amazing, Diego.
I like that list. I don't know what
Great list. Dee Dee is gonna. I'm not gonna say anything about Dee Dee. That may be on my list.
Is it like Harry Potter?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's a coming of age movie.
That's Harry Potter.
I guess in a way, yes. Challengers, Dee Dee, Honora,
joking.
Wicked, and Civil War. Yeah, that's a great
Okay.
list. I love all those picks. You go.
I was gonna say, speaking of lists, we should probably get to our number 4s.
I haven't done my 5th one yet. What are you guys?
Oh,
talking
you
about?
should do your 5. Yeah, what's your number 5, Jacob?
What's your number 5, Jacob?
Hey, this podcast is supporting the movies of 2024. We'll get there. Number 5 is a little number that not a lot of people have seen. Don't come at me in the comments because this movie did go to theaters in 2024, even though it says it was released in 2023. And that is Strange Darling.
Strange Darling.
It is an independent film. I don't know the company. It stars Kyle Gallner, if you know him. He's been in Smile 2. If you want to know like big name movies he's been in. He's also in a lot of indie projects. He's one of my favorite working actors today. And Willa Fitzgerald is the lead. And it's basically a cat and mouse thriller with a twist. And I won't say the twist, but it goes somewhere you don't expect. It plays on your expectations of men and women and how you think of them in a situation. It's basically about these two people. They meet up one night, they hook up, things go wrong, and then one of them turns out to be a serial killer, and the other one is being chased. And it's told in non-linear fashion. It's very much inspired by Quentin Tarantino. It's broken up in chapters, but for me, it was the cinematography that just blew my mind. The cinematography is beautiful. The colors. Yeah, it is a very wild ride. There's I think 4 or 5 times it leads you to go somewhere and then it completely takes you somewhere else. And it always works with the story. It does come out of left field, but it also fits into the story. The cinematography, like I said, the 2 main performances, Kyle Gallner, Willa Fitzgerald, is absolutely great performances. Willa Fitzgerald, she should probably get more work. This is maybe the first movie I've seen her in. She was absolutely amazing in it. She has to do a lot in this movie, and it was all great. But the color grading in this movie, it is so colorful. It is so beautiful. It's it's a thriller horror-esque movie, but the color grading is just superb. It's almost like Technicolor, just vibrance to it. It's just amazing. The cinematography, like I said. The reason why I'm not saying much about the story is because I don't want to give away anything. I feel like if you go into it, the less you know, the better in this case, for sure. Check it out for sure. It's in my top 5 of the year. It could not be. Yeah, I was just like, after I saw that, I was like, I love that movie. Like, it's just such a underrated movie. Nobody's really talking about it. It came to my theater for like 1 week, and I missed it because I was busy. In like August, I want to say. It got a very limited release in theaters, but it's coming. It's on home video right now. It's really great. Strange Darling is my number 5. I absolutely loved it. And CJ Lovelady, horror fan. Werewolves. I can tell you're a horror fan by your top 5. CJ Lovelady. Also love your last name if that's your real last name. I'm obviously a horror guy, though. Yes, for sure. But yeah, Abigail was great. Smile 2 was okay for me. Substance, amazing. Cuckoo, great. Werewolves, I want to see werewolves so bad, but I'll have to. I'll have to. I guess rent it someday because I don't know. I don't. It's not in theaters anywhere. Thanks, it was my dad's. I figured that. Your dad has a very your family has a very nice last name. Whoever picked that,
Yeah.
whoever in your ancestors picked that last name, they're a dog for real.
Strong last name.
Mm-hmm.
Werewolves is just fun. Okay, yeah, all right. I love werewolf movies. Out of the monster movies, if I have to pick like vampire, werewolves, creatures, like out of the creatures, werewolves will always be my favorite. I've always been a werewolf guy. So I definitely want to check it out. I love watching any werewolf movie. So give it to me. I will watch it. Yeah. Same with me in Complete Unknown. I get it. The weather has been crazy. It's been snowing down here in my part of Missouri. Werewolves are your favorite? Yeah, we would get along then, my good friend. But okay. Number 4. Mac time.
Number 4, Mac Attack. Okay, guys. We've mentioned this film several times tonight, and it did get in somebody's top 5, and I'm glad it was in mine, and it may be in yours guys' too, but The Wild Robot, number 4. This movie, I feel like I gotta see Flo, because this movie, you say Flo's better. This movie almost made me cry, and I don't cry a lot either. But like, wow. Lupita Nyong'o, Pedro Pascal, Kit Connor, Mark Hamill's in this, Stephanie Sue, a bunch of other actors I probably can't even think of. But yeah, great voice acting, great animation, simple like story, but a great way to illustrate coming of age, and just the willingness to help others and change perspectives and stereotypes. Yeah, and it was just visually beautiful. Yeah, I love this movie.
Have you seen it, Bella?
I have not seen The Wild Robot. Yeah, I did a really bad job seeing movies this year, guys. I'm really sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. That's life.
Oh, and shout out to Kit Connor, because I went to New York last December and I saw my first Broadway show, Romeo and Juliet, and he was awesome in that. And so was Rachel Zegler.
Yes. I may have tried to force Mac to find a way to give Rachel Zegler my number, but that will never be proven, will it? I need to see The Wild Robot also. Yes, you do. Wild Robot, like Mac said, I'm just the same. I do not cry during movies. It's hard for a movie.
Super, super touching film. I just decided to go see it out on a Tuesday, and I saw it at high reviews, and I hadn't seen an animated film in theaters in like at least 5 years. And I was like, let's go see this. And I watched it alone, and it was awesome.
Yeah. I bought it on 4K 2 days ago. Like I bought it because I wanted to watch it again. I absolutely loved it. I had to watch it at home. I missed it in theaters, but yeah, it made me emotional. Like I was feeling emotions the whole movie. I teared up maybe a little bit. Like my eyes got a little wet. I never cried though, but it did make me very emotional for sure. So yeah, but yeah, Flo I think is a bit better. I think. Maybe you'll be like me. Maybe you'll cry during, or maybe I was just in a weird mood that night. I don't know. I might have just been in the ups. I might have just been. It's been a hell of a few months. Maybe I just needed a good cry, and I don't know. But yeah, Flo, definitely check that out.
Flo.
All right, it's your turn.
Okay, so mine's also one that we've brought up a few times, and it's been floating around the comments as well. My number 4 is Cuckoo. I absolutely loved this film. I thought the sound design specifically was so exciting in this piece. It's such a weird story. And I know that there are certain, like, I keep wanting to use the word like dramaturgical questions that aren't answered in this plot because the science is like so wild in this piece. And we never get a lot of the answers that are kind of necessary for it to like be understood by an audience. But I still was like really fascinated by everything that was happening. Hunter Schafer is phenomenal in it. Dan Stevens is always phenomenal. Like he's always like in these crazy characters and completely unrecognizable in all of these films. And I love looking at the credits and being like, oh, I've seen you in so many things. And here you are again. And I didn't recognize you again. Cool. Thank you, Dan Stevens, for being a phenomenal actor. But yeah, so yet again, we covered this one on Jacob's Film Perspectives, and I highly recommend. Yes, thank you. 2024, the year of Dan Stevens. I love you, Dan Stevens. Thank you for being in Cuckoo.
Yes.
But yeah, that's what I've
Shout
got
out
for
The Guest. If you've never seen The Guest, shout out The Guest. He's great in The Guest.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm also going to shout out Eurovision. Him as the Lion Tamer singer. Like, come on.
I have not seen Eurovision, so I cannot.
Jacob.
No. I saw music happening. I was like, nope.
I think I've seen 2 Dan Stevens movies. One of them I can't remember. The other was Beauty and the Beast, and I loved him in that. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He's just so good in like literally everything. I find him to be incredibly underrated as an actor.
His wife is an opera singer, so that's where he got his vocal training for everything that he sings in. So.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Mac is my IMDb.
Thank you, Diego. Yes, Eurovision is awesome. Everyone should watch Eurovision.
Is that the one with Rachel McAdams? And,
yep, and Will
okay.
Ferrell.
Well, I love both of them. People can hate on Will Ferrell, but I think the characters he plays are super obnoxious, but his comedic timing, impeccable.
Yes.
And I stand on that.
I agree with what she said on Cuckoo. Cuckoo is amazing. Great film. I had to wait till it came to home video too. That's the thing. Time for Jacob's rant. I have a rant before I get to my number 4. Why do the best movies only get limited theatrical releases? Why do you do that? Wouldn't you want more people to see your movies? What is up with theaters today? I don't know. Maybe it's just my theater, but you know what? Marcus Theaters. I'm looking at you, Greg Marcus. I'm looking at you, you old man, with your little corny intros that you do. Pick better movies to be in your theaters, please. I literally, Strange Darling was here a week. I think I think Baby Girl by A24 was like here for 2 weeks. Every A24 movie is here for a week or 2, and then it's gone. So, you know, people have lives, so like I can't be there opening weekend every time. So like I miss it a lot. I miss a lot of movies that I have to rent later on at home, and I wish I could see them in theaters. And Cuckoo was one of them. I was away the weekend it came to my theater, and I was going to see it the next weekend, and it was already gone. But yeah, I don't know.
I love Greg.
You know what, Greg? If I ever see Greg, it's on site for his terrible picks. He'll have the worst straight to DVD movies in theaters, but not A24 movies, indie movies.
He's got to stay in business somehow.
I get the area I live in. We're in a very conservative Christian area, so they play the conservative Christian movies for like weeks. But I mean, come on, only like your 80-year-old grandpa is going to see that, and they're only going to see it once. They'd rather be at home anyway. They're old, their feet hurt probably. Come on. But yeah, give me more. Give A24 movies more space in theaters, please, and indie movies, Neon, all those companies for sure. All right. Beyonce said his number 3 is Alien Romulus. Well, funny you say that, buddy, because that's somewhere on my list as well. But my number 4 is, and this is going to shock everybody. If this is not shocking everybody, I swear you people don't know me.
Wait, do I know the movie?
You know the movie, Mac. You know the movie.
Can I guess it?
Yes, you can guess my number 4.
here, and it's gonna shock. Wait, there's no way. You know what? I'm gonna be bold with it. Joker.
Nope.
Dang it.
Joker. I saw Joker, but it is not anywhere near my top 10. But
Okay. I talked to you about it. I shouldn't have guessed that.
yeah, if anybody knows me, this movie is going to shock everybody. So here it comes. It is We Live in Time.
Oh, I'm not shocked by this.
This doesn't shock me at all.
No.
This is a phenomenal movie, and
I'm
not
surprised.
enough people have seen it.
I'm
And it was
surprised.
promoted. It was advertised, however you want to call it, extremely well, actually.
Yes, it was advertised extremely well, but then it disappeared. It's kind of disappeared from everybody's radar lately. It's not on anybody's top list I've seen lately. Kind of disappointing. But We Live in Time. I am not a rom-com person whatsoever, and this isn't a rom-com, but it has that same type of vibe going into it. So that's why I say people might be shocked, because it is a romance movie, and I'm not a romance guy usually, but
What are you talking about, Jacob?
actually, Mac might be exposing me here. Maybe I am a hopeless romantic. You don't know.
Jacob is so romantic.
Maybe I am, but okay. This movie, watching it, it made me. I saw it in theaters. I've seen a lot of reviews on it saying it's very basic story, basic plot, and I could see maybe some issues with that, complaints about it. But for me, I think they tell it in a different way. The way they tell it, the actors that are portraying these characters, and the way it is shot is what elevates this movie. I think it is told in a nonlinear fashion, but it isn't flashy about it. The editing is just super smooth for me. Like, I love the editing, and yeah, we jump back. Some people thought it was confusing because you go from one period of these people's lives to another period, and there's not it doesn't state what year it is or anything in it. So some people I saw were confused by that. I thought it worked perfectly. The editing was seamless. Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh, what else can you say? Of course, top tier acting, like Deontay said. I mean, absolutely two of the best working actors today. There's no doubt about that. I mean, Andrew Garfield, I don't think has ever given a bad performance. Florence Pugh, neither. They're just absolutely amazing. Their chemistry was great. It's a heartfelt story. It's there's a lot of emotions in it. Like I said, it made me feel a lot of emotions that I haven't felt in probably a long time. But I seriously, and I don't even mean that. I feel like the way Mac is laughing, it makes me look like I'm saying something sexual. It's not that type of Mac. It's not that type of thing.
It's just funny when you say it made me feel a lot of emotions.
Yes, because I am a sociopath, so I don't feel things. But no, it did really make me feel a lot. Like I was teary-eyed multiple times, on the verge of tears. I did not cry, but this and The Wild Robot would have been the two that would have been the closest besides Flow, for sure. But the cinematography was beautiful. Like I said, top tier acting. The story was heartbreaking, but absolutely just emotional, man. That's the most I can say about it. It's just emotional. Like, I have an out of theater reaction, and I feel like I said it best than that. If you want to go check that out on my TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, better hurry to TikTok because it may be gone in a few weeks. But yeah, like Blake said, it was done well and easy to follow. I thought so too. I thought it was easy to follow. You could tell in the way the clothing was and the haircuts and stuff and the makeup, whatever you have, that it was in the past or in the present. It was, I think, the best A24 movie for me this year, which is a tall feat because I absolutely love A24. And this one topped it for me. I already own it. I bought it the other day. I had to buy it. I just absolutely loved everything about this movie. And actually, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't told anybody this. When I came home from playing We Live in Time, I walked into my kitchen and I started crying. So maybe I did cry.
Wow.
I was just thinking about the movie and it didn't make me cry, but it didn't make me cry during the movie. It was like after, like the emotions just sat with me the whole ride home, all the way, and then it was just like I broke in tears when I walked into my house. I was also with a few of my guy friends, so maybe I was like holding it in. I don't know, but yeah, I don't. It was just it was just such an emotional movie, and like so beautiful. I love that movie, and more people should talk about it. It is not being talked about enough. That is my number 4. It's time for number 3.
Number 3.
Hey.
I gotta go back to my list. Oh, we're gonna have fun because we already talked about this one. Challengers is number 3 for me. I've seen some love triangle movies before, not a lot, but there was I won't talk about the other film I saw that reminds me of this, but there's like a few love triangle films, and typically the way they end those movies is they have like, you know, you have your exposition, your climax, rising conflict, all that, and then you have your denouement, and that's how they end all of these love triangle movies, the denouement, and then they settle things, and then the movie ends, and then it's either the love triangles end really poorly, or it's like, oh yeah, we're all happy, and then the movie ends, and you're like, okay. What was unique about this movie the ending, just like, I won't spoil it, but like, there's no denouement in this movie. It just ends, and it's so satisfying because you don't really know what happens, but you feel like there is peace at the end of the movie in terms of plot. So that was really cool. The acting was phenomenal. I thought the editing was really clean, and then the camera work in the very final scene of the movie was fantastic. And I don't think you're gonna see camera work like that. And I don't know. I'd never seen anything like it before, so that was pretty cool. So Challengers is number 3.
Nice. I feel like I might get flack for my number 3. 3 is like my favorite number. So I had to pick something that I like personally was just really excited by this year. So my number 3 is Lisa Frankenstein. I don't know if either of you have seen that movie.
What is it? Frankenstein something?
Lisa Frankenstein.
Lisa Frankenstein.
I saw it.
It's on Amazon Prime. I think that movie is delightfully outrageous. Aesthetically, it is so very 80s. It feels very similar to Heathers, if you are a fan of Heathers.
Yeah.
But the general premise, thank you, CJ Lovelady. I appreciate that. But the general premise of this one is it's a teenage girl who is like absolute outcast, and she unintentionally reanimates this man's from a grave that she just visits because she has no friends, and slowly starts chopping off body parts of people that have done her wrong and replacing them on the reanimated man's body, who is played by Cole Sprouse, until he looks like a real human again, rather than a monster. I think they call him the creature in the film, but it's so funny. It's so ridiculous. And I had a great time with that one. Like, I turn it on pretty regularly because it actually is just a feel-good movie for me. And it's like just a ridiculous rom-com too. So there you have it. That's my 3.
Is it horror too?
It's like a horror comedy, yes.
Wow, okay. I'll write it down. I like the way you described that, so I'll write it down.
Thank you.
I saw it in theaters as
It
well.
sounds like something I would hate, but the way you described it, like, sounds awesome. So, like, now I have to see it.
If you hate it, let me know.
I
Because I will
will.
still gladly talk to you about why you hated it.
I have 20 plus movies I need to watch that came out this last year.
Same.
So, yeah.
Life of Undead Cody. Yes. I also saw Lisa Frankenstein in theaters. I saw it with a buddy of mine, and let me tell you, that brings up about me and my stories. That brings up a memory. I went with a buddy of mine, and we were the only ones in there that were just two dudes. The rest were couples. And let me tell you, that was an awkward time. We walked in there, and it was a bunch of guys and girls together, like couples, loving on each other. And it was just me and my buddy, and we were just like, this does not seem like the right place to be at this time. But yes.
Did it come out around Valentine's Day?
It did. It came out in February.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It did. I went and saw it with a friend of mine.
Mm-hmm. This is the closest to a romantic film I will ever get, I think.
But yeah, I also liked it. I've seen Heathers. I'm not a big fan of Heathers. But I really liked. I thought this movie was good. I liked it a lot. I thought it was funny. It had some funny moments. I'm an 80s horror. I like anything 80s, synth music, 80s, referencing the 80s. I love it. I don't know. My mom grew up in the 80s, and like I grew up on like 80s music and like 80s like movies and styles. Like I've probably seen 16 Candles, Pretty in Pink, all those type of movies like probably 100 times as a child. So yes, Deontay, so you can call me an 80s horror. I mean, I do like a lot of 80s horror, so you can call me that too.
That's
But yes, so it was just the 80s aesthetic for me that really sold me on that movie. I loved it. I loved the 80s part. I didn't love the movie. I loved the 80s part though. Thought it was great. Horror. That's true.
music's
Pretty good.
vibe, man.
That's pretty good. But speaking of horror, great segue. Speaking of horror, my number 3 is the best horror film of the year. I thought it was going to be topped by The Substance. I had to go back and forth on this between this and The Substance. The First Omen held its own until August. It really did. It held on for when did it come out? April, so it held on for 4 months. But Alien Romulus, it just hit different for me. We already talked about this movie, so I don't need to go into any depth about it because I'll just go watch the podcast we did on it. We went way into depth in it. All I will say is I still remember the theater experience with my friends that I had watching that movie when the one thing, I forgot what they called it. The alien baby thingy. That's what I'll call it. The alien baby thingy came out.
Oh my gosh, yeah. What is it called?
There's a name for it. People call it
There is.
Abomination. That's what it is.
The Abomination. Or no, it's called The Offspring for this one, I thought.
The Offspring or the Bomb? I don't know. Offspring.
Wait.
Whatever it's called.
Can I name it?
You can name it.
I'm gonna call it the Jacob.
We do resemble each other, so.
This may or may not also be discussed in the podcast episode, actually.
It is very tall and pale, so yeah, it works. Yeah, shout out Fede Alvarez. Yeah, I saw that they fixed the CGI for the home release. That's my only mark on the movie. I did not care for that whatsoever. We talked about that again in the podcast. But yeah, that's my mom. She said 80s rule. Thank you, Mom, for raising a son with good taste.
Yeah, hello.
Because, yeah, I love the 80s. But, yeah, Alien Romulus is my number 3. Best horror film of the year. We talked about it at length. Great film. So you're number 2, McAvoy.
I think Jacob gave this one an honorable mention. We talked about it very briefly. Yeah, I decided to go see this on a random Tuesday because that's when I go see my movies, as I've been mentioning. And I did challenge myself to go see movies this year on Tuesdays. So this one probably just like I probably should have this at number one, but it's not my. It actually is my style of movie, but I'll explain why the other one is number one later. But this one is very worthy of getting number one. Small Things Like These with Cillian Murphy. Wow. I talked about Jacob with this a few months ago, and I was just like, this guy, he's got to have a run at Best Actor again for this movie. I thought he was even better in this movie than he was in Oppenheimer. It's a very simple story, but it is shot beautifully, and every single thing he does with his eyes, like, you know what he's thinking at every moment, or at least have some idea of it. And everything connects in some way, and you could see that even just like the most simple things, like and it's amazing how they're able to do that with such a simple plot. And a lot of people over stuff their scripts with too much information. But God, I want to talk about this. There's a lot I want to say, but I don't want to spoil things for those who haven't seen it. Go see it.
Did you say the name?
Say what? Oh, Small Things Like These?
Yeah.
Yeah, Small Things Like These with Cillian Murphy. I said it earlier, but I'll say it again. Small Things Like These. Yeah, is the name of the movie.
All right. So my number two, Jacob, I guess prepare yourself. My number two is Wicked, the Wicked movie. Whatever. Thank you.
It. I respect it. I've never even seen Wicked, the stage or the movie, but I know it's got to be good.
So I'm like really showing my musical theater roots here. I saw Wicked the musical in the touring production when I was like 8 years old, and that is what got me set like pursuing theater professionally for the rest of my life. So this story has a very special place in my heart, and it's been like in talks of actually being adapted into a film for so long. And I think that the final product that we ended up with after so much anticipation is a masterpiece. John M. Chu has done a phenomenal job adapting this story, because if you are at all familiar with the stage production, there's a lot of spectacle and it feels like it just belongs in a stage medium. And I think how that translates to film, for me at least, I was always very concerned with how on earth you would actually make a Wicked film. And I think this is something that I will continue to watch for years to come, because it brings me great joy. It hits all of the nostalgia points for me. The two lead actresses, Cynthia Erivo, who plays the Wicked Witch of the West, Elphaba, and Ariana Grande, who plays Glinda the Good, they are such powerhouse vocalists together. Their voices just blend so seamlessly. Yeah. I think that this is just a masterpiece of cinema at the moment. And if you've ever read the libretto of Wicked, then you know there is like literally nothing to that script. So I just want to give kudos to the people who adapted this into a screenplay. Yes, let's start a petition to have Jacob watch Wicked. Okay. I like this plan.
There's an easy way to get me to watch Wicked. Say Rachel Zegler is going to take me. That's about it.
I'll take you.
That's even better. You know what?
See.
There you go.
We'll go watch it in May.
Oh, and since we're also talking about like when we cried in the viewing experience, this one literally the first 5 seconds I started crying because the overture started playing, and I was like, oh my God, I'm 8 years old again. And that was just a magical experience. Yeah.
Wow, I can't even hang on that.
Thanks, Deontay. So good. Thank you, Mac. What are you thanking me for? Well, thank you, Diego.
Wow, my mother's against me now.
I will sign this.
Thank you.
But I can't even hate on that. That's a great backstory to why Wicked. I
It's
respect
also just a brilliant film. I'm going to say that again. The cinematography is amazing. The costuming, the details that went into the construction of Oz and the world of Wicked. Just saying. It's amazing.
I have a playwright friend, and he posts like all the movies he watches every year. He watches about as many movies as you see, Jacob. But he's a playwright, but he sees a ton of movies. But he had like a long ass list, and then he writes like notes for his top 10, and then he writes notes for his honorable mentions. But Wicked was on there as honorable mention, and he's just the only thing he wrote was Technicolor World of Explosion or something like that, and I was like, yeah.
Yep. I think that is a great summary of Wicked, the movie musical.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say much because I haven't seen it, but yeah, Wicked, I will say, is by far the number one movie people have told me to watch the most this year. By far. I mean, I probably had 40, 50 people tell me, you should watch Wicked. When are you going to review Wicked? I've had people ask me when I was going to post my out-of-theater reaction to Wicked. And then, I asked them, I was like, do you know me? Did you really expect me to talk about Wicked? Did you? I mean, I don't know. But you know what? I'll give it a shot one day. I will. I said this about Wicked, and I will hold to this. I said this about Wicked. I told a friend this when they kept telling me to watch Wicked. They're like, you got to watch Wicked, man. You got to watch Wicked, man. I was like, you know what? I will watch Wicked if a girl wants to watch Wicked. That's the type of movie you watch when the girl you're with wants to watch it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about it. It's kind of like the Notebook.
I'm deeply insulted by this, Jacob.
Or you.
Jacob will watch it with me. If I was like, hey, Jacob, let's go watch Wicked, he would go watch it right away.
Well, yeah, I'd be down for that. You love it. I don't know.
He would. I don't know if he will. I haven't seen Wicked either, but I feel like I would like it.
Yeah, shout out Fundamentals. They did a whole episode on it. Go check that episode out as soon as you can.
Amazing. Mm-hmm.
Definitely watch it. Well, you go, Deontay. I'm proud of you.
I love that you're framing this as like a chick flick, Jacob.
I'm not. I'm just saying. To me, the only time I ever watched The Notebook was because a lady I was with wanted to watch it, and this feels like that same type of movie. That seems like this same type of movie.
Okay, I'm taking deep offense to this right now.
What?
No.
The Notebook is a great movie.
The Notebook is an underrated horror movie, is my opinion of it. I think it's terrible.
What?
The actors are amazing. I don't like romantic stories whatsoever, and Nicholas Sparks makes me gag. So that's all you need to know about my thoughts on The Notebook. But Wicked, that is so much more than, like, it's not even like a romantic film. You know that, right, Jacob?
Oh, I know that. 2 hours and 40 minutes of people singing. I don't know. Give me Killers of the Flower Moon. I can watch 3 hours and 20 minutes of that. Give Martin Scorsese, but I don't know if I can watch.
Is your one hang up the singing?
I have a problem with stories that bust into singing. I don't like that a lot. Like, it takes me out of the story. It's only a few cases has it worked. Singing in the Rain and La La Land are the two major ones that have worked for me.
Thank you, Blake. Yes, there is regular dialogue in it too. The scenes are actually really well done, and there are so many really powerful and relevant political messages to this story as well about public perception of good versus evil. And I think like it does a phenomenal job making all of those discussions really palatable for an audience and various age ranges. So
I just want to ask you guys. I just want to ask everybody a question here in the comments and my hosts here. All right, are you holding space for me?
Holding space for you?
Yeah.
I am always holding space for Wicked.
I don't know what any of that means, but I see that everywhere on social media. What does holding space mean?
Oh my gosh, you don't know the meme? Like the backstory for the meme?
Shame on me.
I don't know the backstory for the meme. I just keep seeing people saying, "I'm holding space for this. I'm holding space for that," and I knew it started with Wicked somehow, and I don't know why.
Okay, hold on. I want to respond to Deontay's comment real quick of the I can understand that. My only hesitation is whether or not the songs actually slap. If you are unfamiliar with the vocal stylings of Cynthia Erivo, I highly recommend watching her performance at the Tony Awards for The Color Purple. I Am Here. She's phenomenal, and this is some of Stephen Schwartz's greatest work. If you are familiar with the Hunchback of Notre Dame Disney movie, all of the songs in that were written by Alan Menken and Stephen Schwartz. So it's got very similar musicality to that. So if you like the music of Hunchback of Notre Dame, you'll probably enjoy Wicked. It's my great summary for you. But the holding space thing, Jacob. So there was an interview between Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, and the woman who interviewed them started asking this very strangely phrased question of, are you holding space for the lyrics to Defying Gravity, which is the climactic ending to Act 1 in the stage production. And the lyrics are kind of iconic within the musical theater fandom, if you will. So the reason it took off is because in this very strangely phrased question, the camera shifts to Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, and Ariana Grande is grabbing Cynthia Erivo's hand like this. And so everyone decided to zoom in on that as like, oh, she's holding space, and this is how she's holding space for the lyrics to Defying Gravity. And both the actresses came out later and said, we had no idea what was happening, and we didn't understand the question. So it's just kind of continued to escalate from there of people memeing it and being like, are you holding space for this? Because what does that mean?
Well, in that case, I'm holding space for my Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
That's good. But okay, you know, you intrigued me with talking about the Disney A Hunchback of Notre Dame. How do you say it?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, however you say it, I loved that animated movie growing up. So that does intrigue me. So it's the same people that wrote the music for that.
Mm-hmm. Well, Stephen Schwartz wrote the music for Hunchback of Notre Dame and did the lyrics as well. But yeah, he collaborated with Alan Menken, who does like every Disney film pre Lin-Manuel Miranda's involvement in Disney. And Stephen Schwartz solo wrote Wicked, and he's written lots of other shows. If you're familiar with Pippin, he also wrote Pippin.
Pippin.
Yeah.
I
love Pippin. Children of Eden is another really popular one in like the regional theater circuit, but yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
That intrigues me then.
There you have it. Oh, Godspell as well. If you know Godspell.
Some bangers, man.
It does. Turn Back, Oh Man goes hard.
You two could just be speaking in a foreign language right now.
I was like, I love Stephen Schwartz. Big fan.
I also love Stephen Schwartz.
I have no idea who that man
Which
was.
is why I'm like, why haven't I seen Wicked?
He also, I believe, did some of the music and lyrics for Pocahontas. So if you like the music in Pocahontas.
That was also one of my favorites as a kid. Uh-huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe I would like Wicked then. Huh.
I'm really trying to convert you.
Maybe I will hold space for it, and after all.
Jacob, have you seen Phantom of the Opera?
No. I've seen pieces of a few of the movies on TV, but
Never mind.
He wrote Colors in the. I love Colors in the Wind. If he wrote that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a
He
go-to
did.
comment. Thank you, Blake. Pippin loves Second Breakfast. Have you guys seen Lord of the Rings?
Of course.
Yeah.
Blake just had the best comment.
No,
He did. Oh yeah, and I'm also forgetting like a major one that Stephen Schwartz wrote. Prince of Egypt. He did the music for Prince of Egypt as well.
Oh, well then I probably will love Wicked because Prince of Egypt is one of my favorite animated movies. So.
Okay, Jacob, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is out of every movie that I talk about on this list, I'm going hard for this one. All right, I am going hard. Prince of Egypt goes so hard, Blake says. Yes, it does, but this movie goes just as hard. I am absolutely in love with this movie. I mean, I saw this movie. It hit so hard too because I watched this. I rented this movie. I'm about to name it. Don't worry. I got to set it up. I rented. I rented this movie. I think the night before my birthday. So I was about to turn the old age of 26, and nostalgia was hitting me. I was looking back on my life. I was like, man, I'm getting old. And I watched this movie, and it is a great coming of age movie. One of the best coming of age films ever made, I think. It's up there with me. Superbad is my favorite comedy. Stand By Me is one of my favorite movies. I love if you know, that's one of my things. Coming of age films will always hit with me. I love coming of age films. I mean, I adore them. I will watch any coming of age film, especially one that's set and like I have not seen one ever made that I can like relate to personally, because they're always like in the 80s or like they're a little older than me. This one is the perfect age range for me, so it hit even harder. And that is a little independent film that nobody's talking about, and it really makes me upset, is Dee Dee.
Oh, the one like Harry Potter.
No, well, I guess
I'm joking.
a film by Sean Lang, and this is based on his basically he's like, I think he's 30, 31. He's a few years older than me. This is based on his growing up. And this is basically about a kid, an Asian American that it's the summer before his freshman year in high school. And he's basically just trying to he loves recording stuff. He just wants to film things, and he's just trying to fit in. He's an awkward kid, you know, he's got braces. He's just trying to fit in, and it's about basically a coming of age tale of him the summer before high school, where he finally kind of meets his friends. And let me just read a little excerpt here. I just got to read an excerpt for it because it is just absolutely, I want to do it justice. Basically, in 2008, during the last month of summer before high school begins, an impressionable 13-year-old Taiwanese American boy learns what his family can't teach him: how to skate, how to flirt, and how to love his mom. That's the tagline. And it is literally, I related to this movie so much. It has MySpace, the music, he's on MySpace trying to flirt with girls. He's just like, this was literally like me growing up as a kid. It reminded me of my middle school days, my elementary school days. He gets in with these skaters. He wants to be cool, so he tries to get into skating. And that's what I did when I tried to hang out with older skater kids when I was a little kid. I just wanted to fit in. So it really resonated with me because I was also, I know I don't seem like it now, but I was trying to be like a skater, professional skater. I was that type of person, you know, on MySpace. You know, you have your top friends, you have your songs on there. I mean, just growing up in the mid 2000s, the mid 2000s, and it was just a nostalgia overload, but done right. It is never over heavy-handed. It doesn't play the top songs of the 2000s. It actually plays some obscure songs from the 2000s, and it's also a great story about because he's from Taiwan, and it's a great story about like how Asian Americans are in their kind of experience at the same time. Like, it's telling that, but it's also anybody can relate to it at the same time. Like, it has that element to it that I bet a lot of people that felt like outcasts in that community definitely will relate to. And it's very poignant, and it's very heartwarming. It's hilarious. It's absolutely funny. The things him and his friends get into are just like what I did as a kid, like just running around skating in places you weren't supposed to skate, and he's trying to film them, and he's just lying about like being a great filmmaker just so he can hang out with these cooler kids. And he's trying to learn how to he literally searches on YouTube how to kiss a girl. Like, he's trying to learn how to kiss a girl. Like it's just like absolutely just, it reminds me so much of my middle school days. It's unreal. And it just, it was a movie that also brought me almost to tears too, just because of how relatable it was. I have an older sister, and in the movie, he has an older sister that's about the same age difference as me and my sister, so I could relate to that dynamic. And I'm also a mama's boy, and he's a mama's boy in the movie, and it's just I related to this kid a lot, and it was just the conversations he had with his mom in the movie are just so well written, and just the interactions he had with his grandmother and his sister and his friends, just all so realistic and so just very just it just really hit home for me. Like I still to this day I love this movie. Like I could watch it any day. It's on Peacock right now for free, and just I highly recommend watching it. It is just I don't know the kid who plays. It's called Dee Dee because that's what his grandmother calls him. That's his nickname from his grandmother. I want to say I knew the kid's name, but I forgot now. But the actor that plays him does an amazing job playing an awkward teen. It is just so good. Just the shenanigans he gets into with his friends, the all the nostalgia. It's just the nostalgia just hits differently with this one. It is a coming of age film for people my age. Like if you're a 90s kid, it is a coming of age movie for you. Like just growing up in the mid 2000s, being on MySpace, just trying to figure things out, right when the internet wasn't like, YouTube was just a few years old back in those days. And it captures it also well. It doesn't use it nostalgia bait though. And it incorporates it into the story well. It's not just, hey, remember this. It's not just that. It's so well made, and at the core of it, it's about just learning how to be comfortable with yourself and your background and your family history and where you're from, and just making friends with the right people and just being true to yourself, really. And that sounds cheesy, but it's just like it's so beautifully well done. It's just definitely check out Dee Dee if you haven't. Yeah, it's free on Peacock, or you could rent on Prime. It's also out on Blu-ray too if you're a physical media person. It is absolutely just like it's not even it's top 2 of the year. Like I said, so my second. It's honestly one of my favorite movies of all. I'd put it like I wouldn't say like top 100 or anything, but it's up there for like favorite movies. Like it's definitely one of my favorite coming of age films now. It's just it hits everything for me, just everything I like, and it's just so good. Nobody's talking about it. No rewards presents or nothing. I've only seen one other person in the film space really talk about it, and I think it's going to be one of those ones that get a cult following later on. But yeah, it's such a great film, and check it out. Like it just reminded me of the good old days, basically. Like it was just I sound like an old man, but like it really did remind me of the good old days because I was an awkward kid in 8th grade with braces. Just trying to find my way, trying to flirt, learning how to flirt with girls, all of that, trying to be a skater boy and fit in with a cooler, older crowd, and just all of that just hit. Like it felt like it was just like it felt like I could have written it. Like that's how close it came to my experience growing up, and it was so good. Yeah, Dee Dee number 2, watch it please. If any movie from any of my list here, Dee Dee is the one I want everybody to watch for sure. Just beautiful. I love it. It's absolutely amazing. Definitely check it out. Sorry, I was looking at something on my laptop. If you're wondering why I was looking down, I just hyper focused on something on my laptop. But anyway, yeah, Dee Dee, absolutely amazing. Check it out. Before we get to our number 1s, though, Deontay's been in the chat here. I don't know if we talked about his films. I want to talk about his films because he was going to be here tonight. I know we talked about his 4th and 5th. He said Nosferatu, and what was his 5th? Transformers 1, was it, Deontay?
Mm-hmm.
So 4th was Nosferatu. Your 3rd was Alien Romulus.
2 was Dune Part 2, I believe? Or was that one taken out?
Yeah. Deontay's was Dune Part 2. Yeah, great film. Love Dune Part 2. And his number one is The Apprentice. Arguably the most underrated film of 2024, slept on because of politics, but acknowledged by Golden Globes. Well, at least it was acknowledged. And I've actually heard The Apprentice was really good as well. I love Sebastian Stan. I'll definitely have to check it out. I'll be honest, I didn't check it out when it came out because I was kind of fatigued by all the political stuff, so I didn't want to watch a movie about political stuff. But I heard it's more about his Donald Trump's in the '80s during the New York era of Donald Trump, so that's good. I will definitely check it out. Have any of you guys seen The Apprentice?
I have not.
I will definitely check it out. I won't say it's arguably the most underrated film. That's DD, sir. I just said that, but Apprentice can be number 2, yes. But yeah. Okay, I guess now for the big one, Mac. The big one, Mac.
The big one, the Big Mac.
Mac.
This one is called the Big Mac. It's number 1. This is the Big Mac. Okay. So I almost put Small Things Like These at 1. And honestly, like Small Things Like These is like the kind of movie that I would give Best Picture to and all that. But number 1 is number 1 for a reason, and that's because it's my kind of movie. And it's the only movie that I saw. This is also why it's number 1, because when I go to the movies, I don't go back to the movie theater unless I love the movie. I don't go to see it more than once unless I love this movie. So I saw it once. I saw it by myself, and the second I knew this movie was coming, I was like, I gotta go see it, because Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield were in this movie, and I'm like, we're gonna go see it. So it's We Live in Time, and I saw it alone, and then I saw it, and yeah, like Jacob said, I was feeling emotions. So yeah, I felt emotions, and then I was just like, I gotta bring my mom, like, and go see this, because like this movie, to me, it reminded me of This Is Us, which is why I love the nonlinear storytelling so much. The TV show This Is Us. Every episode, every little scene in this movie is like me telling Jacob or you or like my son or my niece or my teacher, my fellow custodian in like the building I work at, like just a story about my life, and telling them about my life and things like that. So that's why I love these nonlinear storytellings, because like when you tell people about the most important parts of your life, that's what this movie is. You're telling them like, hey, this happened when my wife was pregnant. This happened when she passed away. This happened. She doesn't pass away. Okay, I should stop talking. Maybe she does pass away. I don't know what happens. Okay, I'm not gonna spoil anything. Anyway, maybe he passes away. Okay. Anyway, there's nobody. Okay, a lot of stuff happens in this movie, but it was a great movie. And I thought the acting was awesome. Honestly, these are my 2 favorite actors, man. Like, I think they're the hardest working there is. Yes, Blake, I agree with that. Very emotional roller coaster. Agree with it. I love drama. I love rom-coms. Like, these are the kinds of movies like I kind of grew up with. Stories about love. Andrew Garfield has this interview where he talks about life and like how precious it is, and he's just like, that's why this is like my favorite film I've done, because like life is so precious and I love every moment of it. So yeah, that's why I put this film at number 1. And I thought every little nonlinear scene gave context, because it's like you telling a little story about your life, and I thought they did a really good job with that. And it's a simple story, but it's beautiful, because these are the most important moments from somebody's life, and that's why it's such a good film. So if you haven't seen it, go see it. Go
So I need to go see it.
Yeah, you do need to go see it.
What was that, Mac? You said at the end there?
Oh, go Broncos. Broncos country. That's right.
Good boy. But yeah, this is a Broncos propaganda podcast at the same time. But whatever. Yeah, I already talked about it. What Mac said. Beautiful.
Wow, I hope Adam's watching right now. Probably not. He probably left. But
Probably left.
yeah, he's a Bills fan. Anyway, they may lose tomorrow. Don't be surprised when they do.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, we live in time was like Max said. Everything you described it perfectly.
I could talk about it forever, but anyway, great film.
Yeah, I mean, another thing that came to mind when you said that was when I thought about it. It really does like. It shows. It really does like. It just shows these pivotal moments, like Blake said in the comments, and like even though it shows like even though it is painful and like it is painful and very emotional at times, you still appreciate like the life in it at the same time. Yes, I mean I don't really have an orange that's red, but yeah, we'll go with that. The blue works. Yes, no, blue's just my favorite color, but yeah, it really just, even in the hard times in this movie, it just makes you appreciate life, and it makes you think about your life and like the hard times you went through, and it just like you still, and like that interview you're talking about, like it just makes you appreciate breathing, and it really does, like it really hits, and like even though this movie is in some ways it's heartbreaking in some ways, it does make you like, for me personally, it made me like want to look forward to the future at the same time of being like a father and a husband, and like it makes you feel those things, and like that life is important, and like moments like that are everything, so like yeah, I completely agree with you on everything you just said there. Great number one.
I agree. It was a great number one.
Now it's
All
two.
right. All right, so my number one is also one that has been mentioned as an honorable mention for you, Jacob. I Saw the TV Glow is my number one for this year.
Oh, let's go. We have great number ones in this group. Let's go.
I almost spit my drink out.
I have been like raised on Buffy the Vampire Slayer since I was like in the womb. We have like videos of me dancing to Buffy the Vampire Slayer's theme song when I was like 2 on home video. And one of the really beautiful things about I Saw the TV Glow is that it pays a lot of homage to that TV show, and specifically the fact that the queer community, when in the 90s, when Buffy the Vampire Slayer first started coming out, seeing themselves in those characters and in that show. And it was like one of the first TV series to ever have an on-screen lesbian romance at the same time. Like, it was a very progressive piece of art and media. And the TV show that exists in the world of I Saw the TV Glow is intentionally mirroring Buffy the Vampire Slayer and its construction, and they even brought in one of the actresses that plays a main role in the series to play a small character in I Saw the TV Glow. I also think that the construction of that story is just so brilliant. Every time I watch it, I've rewatched it around 3 times now, I find something new. It is so detailed, it is so thoughtful, and it is one of the most beautiful stories I have ever seen. I think it's like one of the greatest pieces of film ever.
Wow.
Now I have to go see it.
What's our HBO Max, man?
Like Dee Dee, I Saw the TV Glow, Wicked, like the list goes on. Cuckoo, I have to see that. I got like 20 plus films I got to see.
I do too. I haven't seen We Live in Time or Nosferatu. Like, those are some really heavy hitters.
I saw Nosferatu yesterday.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I Saw the TV Glow. I agree. I mean, I've talked about it a little bit. Yeah, I saw. I'd never seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I didn't grow up on that. But even, and I read that the show that they made in there was more based on that. But even the what even are the Broncos? The greatest NFL team to live.
Hey,
I love how we go from we're talking about like serious topics to me talking about football. Let's yeah, but yeah,
I don't speak sports, so you have fun.
yeah. Like even the production design they have for the in-universe show is insane. Like it made you feel like you were watching. Like I know, like I never watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but even it reminded me of like Goosebumps episodes, like the way the monsters were. Like there's one ice cream truck monster thing that felt straight out of Goosebumps for me, where I was like, oh man, like it made me like it gave me nostalgia. I was like, oh man, I remember, and just like the way they were watching on like the old TV, and then it was just like even the in production value of the show of that was just great.
There are just like so many very powerful images in that piece. Like there's a scene, and this isn't a spoiler, just so we're clear before I describe the scene, but there is a scene where the TV screen, it's like the 80s, or no, it's the 90s, I believe. It's like an old television and the screen is missing and you just see the inside of it on fire. There's so many gorgeous, powerful moments in the cinematography of this film. It's so good.
Yeah.
So much symbolism.
Like I said, like the whole scene, I won't say what it is, but there's a scene that happens in the third. Belle would know what I'm talking about, but like you'll know what I'm talking about, but like it's not a spoiler at the same time. The scene in the bathroom towards the end.
Yep. I wondered if that's what you were talking about. Yeah.
Like that freaked me out. Like that like freaked me out. And like at the end of the movie, I was watching it with I actually watched it with my mom at home, which is and I looked at her and I was like, you know what? I've never had these doubts. I've never had these questions about myself. But this movie has come the closest that I've ever seen any movie to like simulating a feeling of that. Like it simulates a feeling of having like that type of identity crisis about yourself. And I was just like, I'm 100% comfortable in my skin and know who I am, but like I still felt the crisis, even with that, like, and that's just a credit to like how they shot that and how that scene played out. Like I was just like, oh my god, like I started like, am I having an identity crisis? And like it was really that like serious. Like I was just like, oh my god, like, and that's the only reason I say like I'm not trying to be like, I'm not, because some people aren't comfortable in their skin, but I'm just saying like for me who has never questioned that, and for that movie to make me feel that, like that's pretty insane. Like that's strong art right there to make me feel like have that feeling that all these people, and then that made me have more sympathy for that community too at the same time, because like dang, that is absolutely terrifying, like horrifying. Like I would hate that. And what was great about that also is I went on Letterboxd and I read some reviews, and there are some people on there that this movie was actually like helped them come to figure out who they were. Like I read a few, like there was like long essay written like reviews on Letterboxd about this movie, and they said this movie literally changed their life, and like they were reading about it. Like I was reading and it said they always like, had this identity issue or like didn't know where they fit in the community and stuff like that, and like this movie helped them find that. So like I just think any movie that can do that is just an important piece of cinema that should be talked about.
Absolutely. I actually had a friend that was inspired to come out after watching this film.
Yeah, see, that's crazy what movies can do. Like they can be that strong to do that.
Yeah, and I will say, like, it is a very artsy film, and I don't think, like, stylistically it is for everybody. The pacing is really slow with how it's structured, but one of the things that I think makes it so beautiful and brilliant is that there are so many Easter eggs that, depending on your lived experience, it's a film that will meet you where you are, and you will still have something to take away, even if you didn't necessarily understand everything about it. And that's my final sentiments. I saw the TV glow.
Yeah, and I agree. And like, last thing I have to say is about the pacing. For me, I saw a lot of people talk about the pacing, and for me, maybe it was just the vibe of it, but it flew by for me. I didn't have any
Me
problem.
too. I didn't have an issue with it, but I do understand people
Yeah.
have that issue with it.
I've seen that issue raise up a lot in like other film reviews and other people that talk about movies. I've seen them talk about like, oh my, this movie's just slow and goes nowhere and does nothing. And I was just like, I disagree. It goes a lot of places and it just takes its time, but it goes by fast at the same time for me. And because they create a world that is so like intoxicating but horrifying at the same time. And it's just the vibes of the movie. Like you feel the vibes of the movie. Like it is such a vibe setter. It is so like you just get sucked in, almost like the characters in the TV show.
Hey.
Yeah, great number one pick for sure. And my number one is Wicked. No,
Wicked. That's Wicked, dude.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be? I wish I could have seen Wicked, and that would have been a great twist if I actually did. If that was my number one for sure, that would have been a great twist. It really would. But no, I'm sorry, it's not Wicked. I'm sorry to take you guys out like that. My number one is the greatest piece of cinema made this year. One of the greatest sequels of all time. The cinematography blows my mind. As somebody who wants to be a cinematographer,
I know what it is.
As somebody that wants to be a cinematographer, I just
It's
absolutely
Gladiator 2.
You are no sir.
I'm joking.
But like,
It was okay. But yeah, as someone who loves just cinema, oh my god, the cinematography of this movie I could talk about for hours. I've looked into things. I thought about buying books on how they shot this movie. And I'm not a reader whatsoever, so that should tell you something. I'm illiterate. No, I'm just kidding. I can read, but I don't choose to read. Yeah, did you guys think it was gonna be anything different? It's Dune Part 2. Come on.
I
now.
figured.
Oh, Dune Part 2. I forgot about this movie. Holy moly. That was so early in the year.
Come on now.
This is one of those movies that slid down progressively for me, but it was still one of my top movies of the year. I should have gave this an honorable mention.
Come on now. I mean, it came out in March. It was number one in March. It's held that spot since March. It's held that spot for over 9 months now. So like, I mean, come on. Like you're not gonna beat Dune Part 2. I think it's one of the greatest sequels ever made. It is absolutely a feast for the eyes. Greg Fraser is my favorite cinematographer. He did the Batman. He did the first Dune. The Batman, obviously, being my favorite movie of all time. So, I mean, he's a cinematographer of that. And then he came in and he just upped his game. I mean, this is right there with the Batman for cinematography. My God. It's just like, I just absolutely it blows my mind every time I think about it. I'm just like, that movie is gorgeous. Like, it is so shot within an inch of its life. It feels like, yes, Hans Zimmer with the incredible score.
Hans Zimmer's the GOAT.
I listened to the score weeks after I watched the movie. It actually made me emotional. The story actually has emotion. I know some people accuse Dune of being void of emotion. I think it's the first one kind of has that feeling. It's more sci-fi. But this one has so much emotion in the story that it's just like, this is one of the only movies, again, that I saw twice in theaters. And it's a movie that I came around to as well. The first time I watched this movie, I was like, yeah, it's a great movie. I gave it like an A-, 4 out of 5. I was like, it's a great movie. But both of my friends were like, no, man, this is an A+. What are you talking about? But I had a few issues with it. And then I went and saw it a few weeks later with another friend that wanted to see it. And I was like, okay, I'll watch it again. I wasn't actually excited about it. Like, I was just like, okay, I'll watch it again. And then on that some reason on that rewatch, it was like one of those memes where it's just like the brain is just like all the galaxy brain. That meme is just like I watched it and I was like, oh, I get it now. Like it just something about that rewatch, just like one of my favorite theater experiences ever was watching it for a second time. I was just like, everything clicked, everything made sense. I was like, if I could give it over 5 stars, I would. I was like, this is an A+ masterpiece. What was I on the first time I watched this movie? I don't know, because it was such a different experience. It was a transformative experience, honestly. Like it's why I go to see movies. It really is why I go to the movie theater. It's why I watch movies. It's why I fell in love with movies as a kid. It literally is everything that I love about movies. It transported me to a different world. It had me speechless multiple times. I mean, like I said, I felt so many emotions during it. You care about the characters. Zendaya and Timothée Chalamet are just acting just their asses off in this movie. It is absolutely amazing. All the side characters are great. Austin Butler was insane in this movie. It was so good. I mean, it just peak science fiction. Yes, like I mean, one of the best. And I'll even say this. This is probably gonna get me some unsubscribes. This is probably gonna get me some unfollows, but I don't care. I think this is a better sequel than Empire Strikes Back.
Whoa!
I respect it. I said
That's a hot take.
That is an extremely hot take, and I'm all for it.
I have not seen Due Prophecy yet. I know it's a prequel to the movies or whatever. I have not seen it yet. I know it's a series. It doesn't have Greg Fraser as the cinematographer, so that has it's not going to look the same. But I do want to check it out eventually. But yeah, like me and my friends were having this conversation the first time we watched it. Like, dude, they were trying to tell me this is better than Empire Strikes Back. They're like, "Are you like you?" And I was like, "You guys are insane." I called them insane. So I should say an apology to my 2 friends I was with. I'm sorry, guys. You were right. I was wrong all along. But because that second watch, I was like, I get it now. Like it was just, I don't know what it was, but yeah, transformative experience. I felt like this movie this past year, I guess it's 2025 now, was the closest I've came all of 2024 to leaving my body. Like it was a transcendent experience. Like I was like levitating above my body watching that movie. It felt like I was levitating watching this movie. Just because, like I said, I'm a cinematographer whore, okay? I'm an 80s whore. I'm a cinematographer whore. I just love cinematography gets me, and this movie is the best of the best. Again, shout out Greg Fraser. It's sad he's not going to be on Dune, the third Dune. He's going to be, because he's working on the Batman Part 2, which I'm actually glad he's doing the Batman over Dune, because if I had to pick, I love the Batman first. But I am sad that we won't get him for Dune Part 3, but we'll probably get somebody just good. Denis Villeneuve, if it wasn't for Christopher Nolan, best working director today with Christopher Nolan, those two back and forth for me. The 2 new legends, for sure. They're going to go down like Spielberg, for sure, when it's all said and done. Denis Villeneuve has never had a miss, I will say. It's just like, man is I don't know what level he's on, but he's above everybody else in these directing in this era, for sure. You must watch Dune. I will watch Dune Prophecy. I promise. Sometime. I have seen the Bike Riders movie. It was good, but it did not make my top 10, no. But yeah, like I said, listen to the score for weeks after. I know I did an episode on it, so I'm probably covering stuff I've already covered, but I just want to reiterate how important this movie is. Like, I mean, it should go down as a classic, one of the greatest sequels of all time. And I'm going to say this too, another hot take coming, another one. And this is a huge one. If Dune Part 3 is just as good, if not better, than Dune Part 2, which I don't know how, it will be a better original trilogy than Star Wars, Lord of the Rings.
I can't follow you there. The first
All of
movie
them.
just didn't hit for me. It didn't. The second movie was incredible, though. That's what I think.
I mean, to be fair, I've had friends describe Dune 1 as a 3-hour trailer for Dune 2, so like that tracks.
It's just like all the exposition that first movie, and I'm like, I feel like I'm banging my head against the concrete wall watching it. But the second movie was awesome. I did love the second movie.
I'm gonna get death threats probably, but you know what? Bring them on. Send them.
I respect your hot takes.
Yeah,
I respect it too.
I respect them.
Dune, the first Dune was my second favorite. I want to say it was my second or third favorite film of that year, 2021. So I love the first Dune as well. Still top Dune. I don't know. Right now it does. Wait till Dune Part 3. That's all I'm going to say. Wait till Dune Part 3. I just rewatched the Lord of the Rings trilogy recently, and so my take is pretty fresh. I have them both fresh in my mind.
No.
That's a take I can't get. You could beat Batman, you could beat whatever, but you can't beat
no, you can't beat the Dark Knight trilogy. No.
I'm
Dark Knight trilogy.
Dune already missed. You got to hit on all three films, and the horse picture is all screwed up in the first part with Dune Part 1.
Oh no, Dune Part 1 hits. Y'all are crazy.
No.
Dune Part 1 hits.
That perfect horse picture, the horse's butt's all.
It was like I said, it was my second favorite film of 2021. It hits. If it wasn't for Spider-Man No Way Home that year, it would have been my favorite film of that year. I've never read the books. I'm not a pre-Dune. Like I have no attachment to the Dune whatsoever. Like I have none. But I just absolutely love the story. I love the emotions. I just absolutely, it's still the best trilogy in cinema. Maybe to do the best financially, but no, the Dark Knight trilogy is the best trilogy in cinema. I mean, argue with the wall there, but I love you can't beat the Dark Knight trilogy for me. If the numbers would have shown it.
Hey, best picture, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. That's all there is to say.
Dune Part 2 deserves best picture. I said it and I meant it.
Only fantasy sci-fi film to win best picture. Just saying.
Yeah, I have not seen the David Lynch Dune movie, and I probably will never because I love David Lynch, but I'm good on that, fam. Best view. What are you doing in here, bot? Get out of here, bot.
That's a real person.
If that's a real person, then I'm a millionaire or something. But yeah, I don't know what. Don't actually go. Somebody go to streamboo.com right now. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. You'll probably get a virus or hack.
Yeah, don't do that. That's dangerous.
But, yeah. Like I said, Dune Part 2, I could talk, like I said, I could talk about it for hours. I already did like a full 3-hour episode on it, and I could talk about it some more. I mean, I like I said, it's close as I've come to levitating out of my body in the cinema. Like, it was just like, that second watch, just like, woo, I just hit me on a different level. I mean, I was just like, I walked out of the theater silent. I was speechless. That movie just, I can only hope to achieve half of what they achieved in Dune Part 2. If I ever get into filmmaking, I could only hope to achieve half of what they achieved with this movie. I mean, it's inspiring to any filmmaker out there, especially cinematography wise. Just like, I feel like this movie will be a movie that the next generation of directors will talk about. Like, yeah, Dune Part 2 inspired me to want to make movies. Like, it is one of those times where I think it transcends just the art of movies and does something different. Like, I mean, that sounds really pretentious, but you know what? It's just facts. It really is. Dune Part 2, best picture. It's not going to get it. Deserves best picture. I hope it gets best cinematography. If it doesn't, then the Oscars should be canceled forever. Hans Zimmer deserves best score, but it's not eligible because he uses parts from the first movie score, so it's not eligible.
Criminal.
Which is a sin against humanity.
That's rubbish.
Yeah.
We stan Hans Zimmer in this household.
Yes, Hans Zimmer deserves it again. Give it to him
What
again.
was it? I remember when Man of Steel came out, and then the song is "What Are You Gonna Do When You're Not Saving the World," and it's the main like theme song for
Yes.
the Man of Steel thing, and that's when I fell in love with Hans Zimmer. When I heard that song, I was like, this guy is incredible. Anyway,
I've listened to that track so many times.
the Man of Steel soundtrack and Man of
Cool.
Steel so underrated.
Yeah,
I mean, Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, just saying, don't be sleeping on that score. It's so good.
That too.
I just watched The Last Samurai last night. It's a Tom Cruise movie, and he does the score for that movie. That has one of his best scores too. The Last Samurai is amazing. Score there. But yeah, Dune Part 2. Favorite movie of the year. It is the JFP pick for best movie of the year. It deserves all the Oscars. I wish I had an award to give to it. It gets my award. I don't know. But it gets the Jacobs Film Perspectives Award for Best Film. It goes to Dune Part 2. It's better than an Oscar, so you should be glad. Timothy Chalamet and Zendaya and Denis Villeneuve. I gave you it, so yeah. Better than an Oscar. That is one of my favorite movies, The Last Samurai, Blake says. Well, that is a great movie, Blake. I just watched it for the first time last night, and it is really good. I loved it. Hans Zimmer, great score. But yeah, I mean, that's 2024. Oh, what a year.
What a year.
What a year for movies. What a time to be alive for movies. I hope 2025 is better. I don't think Jinx, I owe her a soda. Huh. Okay. I don't know. I don't know how I would get it to her, but
I mean, that would
I'll
be quite the shipment.
I'll have it flown. I'll just have it flown.
They're gonna think it's a bomb.
Yeah, that's true. Coming from me, they'll probably be like, I don't know about that. 2025. I hope it's better than this year. I don't know how. I thought 2023 was amazing, but when I look at this year, I'm like, oh my God, this year may be just as good. Like, it's just, we've been blessed these last few years with great cinema, for sure. Some great movies. Yeah, 2025, I'm excited. Excited for the new Superman movie. There's some other movies. Wolfman's coming out in a few weeks. I'm excited for that. I will probably be doing a review on Wolfman.
I'm so excited for that one.
Like I said, werewolves are my thing. So I will definitely, that'll probably be my next episode actually, is the Wolfman. Probably, hopefully. We'll see how things are going. We get Wicked. Yeah, that's cool. That's fine.
We need Wicked Part 2 in 2025, respectfully.
I'm just ready for the year of 2026 when Dune Part 3 comes out, and then 2027, Batman Part 2 comes out. And that's what I'm ready for, those two. Captain America 4. Oh, Fantastic Four comes out this year. Oh, man. This will be a Captain America 4, Thunderbolts.
I'm excited for Captain America.
Yeah, I'm excited for Captain America. I'm more excited for Fantastic Four, I will say.
Me too.
People sleeping on Captain America 4.
After Civil War, I'm just like, I don't know. I love Anthony Mackie, but I don't think he's going to be able to hit like Chris Evans hit as Captain America.
That's not the point. He's his own thing.
I just don't feel he doesn't have that. He doesn't have the riz, man.
Yeah, he does. He has tons of riz. What are you talking about? That's Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Mackie's a great actor. I love him, but like, I don't know. Daredevil. Oh yeah, Daredevil is my favorite. Oh, one of my favorite TV shows of all time. I'm so ready for the new Daredevil season. I am going to die of happiness when that comes out.
People be sleeping on Daredevil. That's my opinion.
Facts. It's in my top 3 shows of all time. The Netflix Daredevil series.
It's such a cool character.
The best comic book series I've ever seen. I love the Daredevil show so much. And I am so glad they're bringing back the original cast for I'm just worried because it's on Disney Plus. Scares me, but I hope it's just as good. Yeah, Deontay actually met Charlie Cox and Kingpin himself.
What?
Vincent D'Onofrio in person. He did. I remember that. If I met
That's
Charlie
amazing,
Cox in
Deontay.
person, I would give him a hug. But yeah, he did. But yeah, I would say we could talk about our most. Do you guys have any movie in 2025 that you're looking forward to? That you can
Wicked
think of?
Part 2.
Wicked Part
I
2.
feel like I have a list. Oh, I know. It's coming out next month. Paddington in Peru. Get ready, guys. This movie's gonna slap. It is like it's gonna be the best animated trilogy maybe ever. I've never seen How to Train Your Dragon, so don't talk to me about that because I haven't seen it. But Paddington in Peru, and your girl Rachel Zegler is gonna be in it. So now you have to see it, Jacob.
Well, I gotta watch the first two then, I guess.
They're so good.
Is she in it physically, or is she doing a voice?
I don't know. I don't know anything about her part. I just know she's in it.
Oh, Snow White's coming out. Speaking of Rachel Zegler,
Oh, Snow White. You definitely have to see that.
who's excited for Snow White?
I am actually. I'm very excited about Snow White.
I'm excited about Avatar Fire and Ash.
I'm not an Avatar guy, so I can't say.
I haven't
I
even
love
seen
Avatar.
Avatar.
I love Avatar.
I've only seen the first one.
The second one is really good.
I saw the first one when it came out. But that was what, 15 years ago? So I can't.
Wait, is the Tron Ares is coming out in 2025 too, right?
I think I haven't seen any Tron, so.
Oh, Zootopia
Tron.
too.
Oh, Zootopia 2. I love the first one, so yeah.
I love the first one. I'm hyped for that.
I'll give
Those
you
are my
I'll
three.
give y'all one right here. Oh, 28 years later. 28 years later. I'm excited for that. It says it'll be the third film in the 28 Days Later franchise. If you've seen those horror movies.
There's been 2 already?
Yeah, 28 days and 28 weeks. 28 Days is one of my favorite films of all time. I love 28 Days Later. So 28 years later. So excited.
Wow. Okay.
Zombie apocalypse movies, great. But they're very realistic. For me, though,
Cillian Murphy.
Jurassic World Rebirth. Jurassic Park is one of the first movies that got me. Blake just came in right when I said it. Oh my God, me and you are on the same
Hey.
time, Blake. Yeah, Jurassic World Rebirth. 28 years later, Jurassic World Rebirth was I'm so excited for that. Jurassic Park is one of my childhood movies, one of the movies that got me into movies. So anything Jurassic Park I'll watch, even though the last 2 movies have not been great at all. Jurassic World is fun. Really, only the first Jurassic Park is the only one that I'd say you could have to watch. But I'm excited for this because it has Scarlett Johansson in it. And it has, what is his name? He's supposed to play Blaine.
Theo James.
I don't know who that is.
Theo James. He's the guy. Have you watched White?
Divergent?
No, I haven't watched White Lotus. Yeah, Divergent is probably his most well-known work, but he's in the second season of White Lotus.
I've never seen that. But
He's also in Downton Abbey.
He's
Yeah,
in Downton Abbey. Is he British?
I believe so, yeah.
If you're in Downton Abbey, you probably have to have the British dialect. So.
Oh, Mahershala Ali, that's his name.
Oh yeah, he's also in it. I was
He's
thinking wrong guy.
He's gonna be in it, and Scarlett Johansson. So I mean, those two
Theo
right there.
James is also in it, though. I was not wrong.
And I think the director is Gareth Edwards, and I love Gareth Edwards, all of his early work. So I think Jurassic World Rebirth is going to be a comeback for the Jurassic Park franchise. That's probably right there. That and Superman are probably my most anticipated for 2025 for sure. You know what? Lilo and Stitch was my movie as a kid, so I'll watch the live action. I don't think it'll be near as good.
I think you'd love the White Lotus, actually, Jacob. As Diego says,
I should. I need to watch that.
it is.
Also,
It is just chaos.
oh,
That
I
is
lied. Fantastic Four would be right up there with my most anticipated too. And 28 Years Later and Wolfman. That'll probably be that's probably my 5 right there. Oh, though Mission Impossible. Oh man, this is gonna be a year. The last Conjuring movie is coming out too. Oh, 2020. Oh, the new Frankenstein movie comes out in 2025. Ballerina with Ana de Armas.
Oh, I'm hyped
Ooh,
for
that I'm excited for.
John Wick spinoff. It's gonna be great. A new Paul Thomas Anderson film is coming out. Mickey 17. I'm so excited for that. I've been looking forward to that. That's supposed to come out this past year. Actually, it got
Is
pushed
that like
back.
Mickey Mouse?
No, it's Robert
I'm
Pattinson.
joking. I'm joking.
It's Bong Joon-ho, so I mean, it's gonna be great. Yeah, those are mine. Companion is coming out in a few weeks. That looks really great. And the monkey, Osgood Perkins. who
I
just
don't think they
did
did a good job with that trailer for
What? Companion.
They did it. They did a sturdy with the trailer, but I think it'll be a good movie.
I love the cast. So, F1 with Brad Pitt about the Formula driver, and Death of a Unicorn, my new Jenna Ortega A24 movie. Paul Rudd is in it too. Come on,
Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega. That's the most random duo you could get.
that's a great duo though, for real.
It is.
I like it.
But it's so random. I guess for a unicorn movie, it works.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for that. I watched the trailer for that. I'm excited for it. But yeah, those are my most anticipated for 2025. I said a whole lot, but yeah, there's a lot of good ones. I don't know if it'll be as good as this year, but this past year, but we'll see. Yeah, and I mean, only thing I have left to say is 2025. I hope you're a better year than 2024 for a lot of reasons. But yeah, hopefully this Jacob's Film Perspectives, this will be a better year for me. I kind of took a few hiatuses this year. I'm sorry for that. I left you. Like I always say, you guys are my children. And Daddy left you, but Daddy's here, and Daddy's going to kiss the boo-boo. Yeah. I'm back. Cue
I tried not to laugh for so long.
Cue Daddy's Home by Usher. Play the song Daddy's Home by Usher, please. Because that's me. I'm back. I know you missed me. Last time we were here was
copyright on that or something.
I don't know. I feel like you're more of a Slim Shady energy, Jacob. I'm sorry.
Don't degrade me to that. That's just. I'm not a Slim Shady.
I almost spit my drink out.
Daddy's Home. But yeah, I
agree with the Slim Shady thing.
Thank you.
It's is it because I'm skinny and pale? Is that what it is?
No, I think.
Well, no, I just think the Guess Who's back. Back again.
The buzz cut,
you know.
each one, yeah.
Okay.
Also,
I don't know,
Eminem,
something about.
I feel like you vibe with
Yeah.
Eminem. Like if you and Eminem met, and then he was like, "Hi, Jacob." Yeah.
Oh, funny story. I almost dyed my hair bleach blonde this past year just to see what would happen.
Why didn't you?
Because because I talked to my mom about it, and then I talked to a few friends, and they were like, "You would look so stupid," and I was like, "Okay, I probably shouldn't do that then."
You didn't even talk to me about it. Wow. I love Jesse Buckley and Christian Bale.
Yeah, Bride of Frankenstein. Maggie Gyllenhaal is directing that. So
That's so exciting.
A lot of people don't know who Jesse Buckley is, and shame on them. Great Irish actor.
yeah, I like her, and I'm thinking of ending things.
And The Devil in Me, the video game.
Oh yeah, I remember we played that.
If you played the Supermassive video games. Anyway, that's all.
But yeah.
Until Dawn's coming out this year. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, the Until Dawn movie.
Ooh. I saw a post that said they're not going to follow the storyline from the game and they're going to do their own thing. So are they just... I don't know. That may be false, but we'll find out.
When is the next episode of Craven Conventions? Deontay wants to know.
That's a great question. Thank you so much. What day am I on? Saturday, the 11th. Cool. Hopefully next Friday at noon. That will be the next episode.
Oh, I'm gonna be there.
Oh, thank you.
Listening.
I appreciate that.
As soon as the door opens.
It's terrifying. But thank you. I appreciate the support.
As soon as
Thank you,
post
Deontay.
it, you're gonna get one
What do
listen.
you talk about on your podcast?
She just went over it, Mac.
I'm joking. I'm joking. Come on.
Yeah.
We listen to women on the show.
Yeah. So maybe
Women
re-listen to
empowerment.
the episode if you don't remember.
Yeah,
What? I'm joking.
women empowerment.
Exactly.
Shout out Rachel Zegler.
Yeah.
You know,
And Broncos country.
in Broncos country, when's the next episode of JFB gonna be about?
Oh,
Shame on them. She's great in Wild Rose. I don't know what Wild. I'm guessing you're talking about
Jesse Buckley.
The next episode of JFP, I'm looking at. I know this is getting. I'm getting to become the horror guy. But it's probably gonna be the Wolfman. I know it's probably gonna be another horror movie. Probably gonna be. It's got to be the Wolfman because I have a lot of ties to the Wolfman. That sounds weird. Let me explain.
It does.
Jacob, are you secretly a werewolf?
I wish. You
He's
know.
more of a wolf man.
Oh, okay. There's a distinction.
You know, I mean, I've always been Team Jacob in Twilight because his name is Jacob, and that's why. I mean,
You can't say that. My name is Bella. Like,
that's true. Well, I'm still Team Jacob, so. But yeah, what? Why? I'm lost now. Wow, Bella.
I'm sorry.
What, did I just get roasted? I didn't know it?
I didn't roast you.
Did you just roast me and I didn't even know it? I got
If
roasted,
you
didn't
didn't
I?
know it, neither did I.
I was about to say, I don't know much about Twilight, so.
We'll talk.
Okay. I've seen all of the movies with my sister when they came out, but I don't remember anything about them.
That's fair.
My sister was a big Twilight person back in the day.
Jacob's a werewolf.
I mean, like the werewolf in Twilight is named Jacob. I'm just saying. I will say, when the whole Team Jacob, Team Edward thing was going on in the early 2010s, I felt seen. I felt very seen when people would say Team Jacob. I was like, yeah, my name. Let's go. It's my name.
I think I was Team Jacob, actually. I was Team Jacob because I was like, I'm not going to explain anymore, but I was Team Jacob.
Let's go. As you should be.
I don't need to explain anymore. I was Team Jacob.
But yes, the next episode of JFP will be the Wolfman and probably Companion. I'll probably do it since they're both horror films. Well, Companion is supposed to be horror, is what it says. I'm
Does
guessing
that
it's.
come out this month?
Yeah, both of them come out later this month, so that'll probably be my next episode. Probably in February, I'm guessing. Early February, I'm guessing. Because I think
in Peru.
I want to say
February.
Companion comes out the last week of January, and Wolfman may come out in like 2 weeks or something. I can't remember. They come out soon, but yeah, Deontay will be back with us for the next episode, and it will be the Wolfman and Companion. And yeah, my thing for the Wolfman was that I'll actually, know what? I'll save that. I will hold you guys that, and I will say why I have a connection to the Wolfman when we review the Wolfman. But yeah, and 2025, as far as my channel goes for the next episode, or my page, I'm still doing my out of theater reaction reviews every time I see a new movie. Instagram, Facebook, follow me there. I even on Instagram, I'll post on my Insta story when I watch a movie that I haven't seen in theaters, but I want to talk about. I'll post like the little poster from Letterboxd, and I'll like ask your thoughts on it, and I'll like put a little blurb about what I felt. Like I did Flow a few days ago, and so yeah, if you want to talk movies with me and see what I'm watching, follow me on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok as of now. Hopefully it gets saved. Hopefully, because TikTok is where I get most of my views and likes. So yeah, hopefully it gets saved. And also shout out to the random user that called me that said I was so handsome on my last TikTok. I don't know who you are. If you're watching this, you should comment down below. But you really boosted my ego that day. Thank you for calling me handsome, person. I hope you're not an 80-year-old and creepy old man. That would be very scary. But hopefully you're somebody my age. But or I'll be a little creeped out. Yep. But yeah, Deontay will be back for our next episode. I think Deontay's going to make reels and TikToks while we still have it, and clips from the show. So follow and like if you missed some of the show. Deontay's going to clip a lot of this, hopefully the good stuff, which will be probably none of me talking and just Mac and Bella. But yeah, we're going to watch. Yeah, but yeah, the reels are going to still come in 2025. I'm thinking on what else I can do to expand my page. I'm doing the podcast. I'm doing the out of theater reaction, of course. I want to start doing more written reviews on older films, because this is how this page started, was written reviews. All I did was written reviews. I never did a podcast or video. So I want to do more written reviews this year. That's kind of my goal, especially for like movies I watch at home, that like older movies that I rewatch, or like movies I'm watching for the first time, like The Last Samurai last night. Stuff like that. If I really love the movie, I want to do more written reviews. But yeah, you can check me out on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube as well. I have my shorts are on YouTube, and my shorts aren't actually on YouTube. That sounded weird. My shorts are on like YouTube shorts, not like my shorts I wear. But yeah, just to clarify. But yeah. I mean, I think that's all I got. I mean, 2024 was a great year. No, it wasn't. This is a terrible year. I'm sorry, guys. I let you down. 2025 will be a better year for this page, hopefully. We're coming hard. We're coming strong. I plan to do more out-of-theater reactions, more, like I said, written reviews. The podcast is going to be more frequent, hopefully, because I took like a 3-month hiatus from March to the summer, and then I took a 3-month hiatus from October to now. So I've been a little off my game this year. Had a lot going on, but here's the 2025. I hope you guys have a better 2025. And I thank my co-host for coming. Thanks, Bella, as always. Thank you, Mac. Mac is my man. He wasn't supposed to be here today.
Thanks.
No, but because I didn't think he would be. But I didn't think he'd be into it. But I asked him last minute, like literally 30 minutes before we went live, if he wanted to join, because Deontay and Nick had to bail, sadly. So, and he came in and saved me. So thanks for being my savior today, Mac. You beautiful, beautiful man.
Real Max don't quit.
That's true. Real Max.
Because his laptop broke down.
I was going to say, Nick's Mac broke, but my Mac never breaks.
Never.
And with that, I think that's the best way to leave it. You can end it now, Deontay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, peoples. I love you all.